Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Today's a beautiful day and I hope you woke up feeling fantastic, and I hope you're really having a nice day and clicking on this video. I hope you're in good spirits and you get something from this. So in today's video I want to share the biggest mistake in relationship communication and also some biggest mistakes in physical life too. So the biggest one in relationships is basically either insinuating with your tone, body language or your demeanor and words that someone is wrong, that their emotions are wrong and they shouldn't be, and there's a problem there. There's a problem with how they shouldn't be feeling that way. They're wrong in how they're thinking and perceiving, as if there's something wrong with them again. And again, finally, they're wrong in their behavior, that they shouldn't be behaving that way, and that they're wrong, or also that they're bad in any of these things. Basically, it's called invalidation. Instead of saying, yeah, that makes sense how you're feeling and understanding where you're coming from, instead of taking a step to step in their shoes and to figure them out, to understand where they're coming from and that it all makes sense, and that's called validation. That's called empathizing, and it helps someone feel loved, cared for, understood, or compassion. It helps bring compassion. Compassion is what brings peace and harmony, and that's what helps bring love, joy and intimacy and even sexual connection, because when you have these walls, barriers in between you, there's none of that what I just said. So there's not the love, sexual connection, the joy or the peace. So peace and all that love, joy, harmony, sexual connection and intimacy comes last. Then there's the compassion before that, and before that's the understanding, and the understanding comes from empathizing and stepping into someone's shoes and understanding and figuring them out and validating them. Okay, so that's the steps. The other things that wreck and ruin and hurt relationships also are when you basically criticize or blame somebody. So the opposite of blaming is saying it's all your fault, you did it, you're wrong, you're bad, it's because of you. The opposite is called taking responsibility and accountability, which says I take responsibility and accountability for my part. I've caused negative influences and I own up to it and I step forward and say, yeah, I did that. But you also say, and I want to get better and learn from this and improve and learn from my mistakes and get better. So there's a difference between saying you're wrong or I'm wrong for my thoughts, feelings or behavior, and saying my thoughts or behavior had a negative effect, but I can change that and make a better positive future. It's solution-based behavior. So you see, one is constructive and one is like just name calling or destructive. So one is empowering, one is disempowering. Morning. Hi. So yeah, it's very, very good to know this, guys. Everyone makes a massive difference in your life. So it changes from being the victim, where it's all their fault and you're the victim of everybody else in life, saying I played a contributing factor. Sure, they played a contributing factor too, but I'm going to take responsibility for my factor and I'm going to improve it and get better, and I'm going to change my life all by myself. And if other people want to hop along for the ride, that's brilliant. If they don't, then that's great. I won't necessarily, depending on how negative they are, I won't need to have them in my life anymore, but I'll detach with love and move forward with people who are positive and places that are empowering, uplifting and supportive. So get out of, let's say, a nightclub scene that's like shady. Get out of a shady friend circle or like addicted group circle, or you know, an addictive eating habit, like, you know, processed foods or like just factory farmed meat and dairy and all this sort of stuff. The factory farm stuff is like ridiculously bad for you and just terrible for the animals. So get out of that, get on to more of the more, like, you know, natural, healthier versions. I personally eat a raw vegan diet, 99%. I'm just healing my 15-year like health issue from doing this, from a mixture of cleansing and then nourishing and rebuilding. Cleansing and detoxification, then nourish and build. That's like the steps. So I've outlined the steps for that. So these are some of the steps of the biggest one of the biggest physical mistakes is eating food devoid of life force and biophotons, and that's cooked foods, everybody. So that's one of the biggest mistakes you can do physically. So I highly recommend a raw food diet. I recommend personally definitely a raw vegan diet with herbs or supplements if you feel you're lacking stuff like things that some people get from meat or dairy. But listen, even if you're going to eat meat or dairy or fermented foods like kefir, just if you want to eat it, just eat it. I'd recommend the raw versions of the meat and the dairy. Like, the cooking is not a good thing. It kills all the probiotics, all the enzymes, all the life force and biophotons, everybody. Oh my God, you don't learn this in school, but it has an enormous effect on our nervous system, our brain and our whole energy field, our whole emotional well-being. It's crazy, everyone's such a huge thing. I hope this helps you, you know. So finally, other things regarding physical biggest mistakes is definitely you want to get enough sleep. You want to go to bed reasonably early, but make sure you get enough sleep no matter what time you go to bed. Like, catch up on your sleep, get enough sleep. You probably want to get off heavy stimulants if you're on a lot of stimulants like coffee, potentially cannabis, or even like white sugar and refined like stuff like that. Get off all like the refined processed stuff. Yeah, enough sleep. You want to get out in fresh air and be in nature, everyone. That's a huge mistake people make. Enough hydration and water. And you definitely want to move your body and exercise, everyone. These are huge, simple, natural, free things for the most part, outside of the diet, which pays huge dividends in your emotional well-being. Because when you don't do these things I'm saying, everyone, your neurotransmitters in between your ears, your brain, neurochemicals, dopamine, serotonin, even stuff like, yeah, they're the main ones, dopamine, serotonin. These things be hugely affected, everybody. And that can lead to depression and mental and emotional disorders. But it's related to physical. It's not just all spirituality and self-help stuff, everybody, which play a huge part too. So I highly recommend adopting a holistic body, mind, spirit. It's all one, everyone. Get out there in nature. Do you know that some doctors are now prescribing a walk in the forest or a walk in nature for their patients, which is fantastic, because they're just copping on to the idea that I've known for ages, and loads of us know for millennia, that nature is healing, and it brings peace, tranquility, and hormonal balance. It's really good for your lymph system, your blood system, and bringing nutrients to your cells. And the fresh air is phenomenal. Do you know that looking into the horizon is really good for you? It's good for your eyes. Fantastic. So everyone, hope you have a lovely day. And they are some of the biggest mistakes for relationships and health. And one last thing about relationships: speak your truth, but speak it in a way where I mentioned you're not making the mistake earlier. So speak your thoughts, your feelings, your wishes, your needs, what you would like. Share your emotions, but do it in a constructive, respectful way where you're not criticizing or putting down anyone or saying anyone's wrong either. And be solution based and work together. And say you want to work together for the solution. And say, I make mistakes too, but let's try work together and not like make mistakes and blame each other. Just say that, you know. Declare the intention. Intentional living is what it's all about, everyone. Intentional living and daily reminding yourself. Intentions. So everyone, my name is Owen Fox, and for more videos on body, mind, spirit on holistic living, I do nearly new ones almost every day. It's my passion, I love to do it. It's my biggest creative outlet at the moment. So please do subscribe down below if you haven't already. Hit the notification button for new notifications and new videos, otherwise you may miss them very well. And for any questions or comments, please leave them below or befriend me on Facebook. And yeah, like the video if you'd like to give it a like, please, and share it for any of your friends or family or social media, and hopefully may help other people who want to learn about the most common, biggest, huge mistakes in communication, in relationships, as well as the most biggest ones on health also, which all contribute to our mental and emotional well-being and happiness and joy and peace in life. So again, thanks for watching and have a lovely day, beautiful day, sweet, healthy, happy day. Take care.